Yeah.
We can't hear you. Okay.
You're good on your end, David? Oh boy.
Sounds good.
We're all set here.
Just wait for the last famous 15 seconds. Lest we jump the gun. All right. Welcome everyone to the Lincolnville Select Board meeting. It is May 8th. We do have 2 board members participating remotely, so all action by the board will take in via roll call. And before we get going, Mike, would you read the quote of the evening?
You are muted, Mike.
That's a test.
Yeah, of course I am. Of course I am. Yeah. Hey, the pessimist complains about the wind. The optimist expects it to change, and the realist adjusts the sails.
Thank you very much. And now I'd like to open the podium for any non-agenda items. Seeing no one jumping up and down and rushing up to the podium, let's move along to the administrator report.
Probably the most important thing to announce tonight is that absentee balloting for June is available now. Well, not right at this exact instant, but during normal business hours here at the town office. Excuse me, spring has sprung. After the last meeting, I communicated the board's thanks, sent the documents that the sewer district trustees had asked for. And they responded back that they'd like to, when their chair is back in town, they'd like to schedule a joint executive session to talk about possible acquisition of the land, which I said I would let the board know, and we would be anxiously awaiting scheduling that.
Great.
Storm damage. Last week at this time, we were picking up a lot of pieces from 6 inches of rain. Most everything is now repaired, except for maybe some minor things, except for out on the portion of the Martin Corner Road that we closed to winter maintenance. We lost a culvert out there down in the Willies. We've temporarily blocked the road, and we'll have to explore what options are available to us there. But for the time being, don't drive through, or try to. Not that you should anyways, but Met with the paving contractor at the end of last week, and I would expect them in before the month is out. I noted that they've started on Route 173 today, not our paving contractor, but the state's as well. So that'll be nice. And at Breezemere Park and the beach parking lot, there will be times for a day or so this spring where we'll have to close to do the improvements in those two locations, but we'll let people know as best we can when that's going to occur as soon as we have an idea from our contractors when that work will take place. So outside of that, I think everything else is on the agenda. I would like to extend a extra special thanks to Young's Construction for their efforts in helping pull it all back together after the storm.
Thank you to them. Any questions for David? Seeing none, let's move along to upcoming meetings and announcements.
All meetings are here at the town office unless announced otherwise. The Conservation Commission is meeting Thursday, May 11th, 4 p.m. Heart and Soul Team is meeting on Thursday, May 11th at 4:30, and it says the town office, but that's not correct. It's at the library, I think. Excuse me. In the Lincolnville Central School, the special town meeting for the Lincolnville Central School budget is on Monday, May 15th, 7 p.m. Again at the Lincolnville Central School. The five-town CSD budget meeting is scheduled for Tuesday, May 16th, 7 p.m. at the Camden Rockport Middle School on Knowlton Street. And the select board meets next in regular session on Monday, May 22nd, 6 p.m.
All righty, thank you very much. Are there any upcoming community events anyone wishes to share? Seeing none, let's move along to the meeting minutes from the 24th of April.
I move the board approve the April 24th, 2023 meeting minutes as presented.
Second.
Moved by Selectman Late, seconded by Selectman Garrettson. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Selectman Late, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Garrettson, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Ray, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Hand, what's your vote?
Yes.
And Selectman Dunn, my vote is yes, the motion passes. Thank you all very much. And we have several Mr. Pendletons and a Ms. Pendleton here to address the board. If you would be so kind to come up to the podium and tell us what we can do for you. Oh, over there. Yep. Speak into the microphone, please, sir.
Okay, we need help.
Introduce yourself.
I'm Wayne Pendleton. My name's on the deed. And we had the fire across, and I have just got no money to clean the place and get it presentable and redo something to a place for my daughter, my granddaughter, my other granddaughter, my grandson, great-grandson. They need a place, and there's just nothing I can do. I need help. Just cleaning up the place would be a big start. Then maybe we could go from there and keep a presentable place.
We have a lot of help, a lot of family, a lot of friends.
Yeah, we've had a lot
They've
of
come together to help us. So the big thing is the fees for dumping all the stuff that we need to take care of. It's tremendous. I'm not sure how we're going to do it. So if there's any help that the town could give us as far as fees of dumping it, that's what we need, and we want to make it nice. I don't want it to look the way it does.
There's been a lot of bad things happen, and everything just gets built up and built up and built up, and it's hard. I'm not good at this.
That's okay. None of us are.
You know,
But there's nothing else I can do except ask for help.
We're scared and we don't want to lose our home. That's all they have.
My brothers have helped immensely.
Yeah, I'm Wendy Pendleton. We have a guy that will haul light trash to the dump all day if he can get away with it, to get in with it. You know, if we can get away with it from the dump, he'll transport it for free.
Not to put you on the spot, Josh and Kern, as these two are representatives to the board of directors that oversees the dump. So the Midcoast Solid Waste Board of Directors. Now, is this something that they could, being that the Lincolnville Select Board has no control over the dump fees, but is that
Right.
something that they could get in front of the board of directors?
well, obviously, anybody can come in front of the board of directors. It's a very approachable group. Obviously, it's members of the participating communities, Camden, Rockport, Lincolnville, and Hope. Typically, in my experience, we've never had anybody come before us. And fees are fees. And once that entity starts waiving fees, then it creates problems. And like I said, we've never waived fees. We have always worked with the towns. The town is usually first line, much like coming right to us. And the town usually makes that decision of whether the town can help or not. I don't remember a time where Midco Solid Waste has been able to raise fees, to waive fees. I understand what you're asking, and you know, it takes a lot to stand right there, and I feel for you, I do. But my recommendation for this board as a Midco Solid Waste director is for the town to consider what they can do for the fees. That's, I don't, it would be something we would have to talk about here at the town level. I just don't, and obviously we can make mention of this in our next meeting, that we've had, you know, taxpayers come to us about a situation and see where that goes. But I feel that it's going to be turned back to the town or us here. Just because of previous, and Josh, I don't know if you know any different, but I know of no time other than years ago, there was a manager down there that did that without anybody's permission.
Oh, yeah.
And it got us in trouble.
Yep.
You know.
You know, it's something we can do, we can pick apart and do it, you know. It's just gonna take time.
Yeah.
I don't know how much time I'm gonna have
Understood.
to
Understood.
do that.
Okay.
And just to be clear, sir, this isn't your home or your primary residence, right? Do you live in Lincolnville?
No,
No.
I live in Canada. I
Yes.
catch a rental agreement type thing, and but I do own this
Yeah.
Okay.
for my
Okay.
kids.
Okay.
Sure.
All right.
Well, first of all, I'm very sorry for your loss that this happened. My understanding is that Midco Solid Waste hasn't ever waived fees like this, and that the first, as Kern said, it first goes to the towns to hear the case from residents and then decide what to do from there. Do you have a sense of how much the fees would be in total?
We don't know how many times.
There's a lot of wood we can pull out
Yeah.
and put aside
I don't know if you saw it tonight.
Lindy, sorry, can I ask you to come up and, just so that the folks listening at home, so that you're close to that microphone so we can all
Yeah, they've
participate?
taken out a lot of wood and there's a lot more to come. I don't know if he's gonna mix some things up that was in the building or not, but there's a lot of stuff. And they're gonna take a lot of it away tomorrow. How many loads they take today? 3, 4? 4 being tomorrow. Okay, 3 is moved out for the weekend. Okay, so, they're working pretty hard at it.
And they took all the insulation out, they took all the board, the sheet rock, all that stuff was taken off the
Yeah.
building before, taken out, put in trash bags. Just trying to do it right,
Mm-hmm.
trying to,
Karen, you had a question?
it's a
So-
mess now that it's down.
Yeah.
Well, it kind of gets worse before it gets better when it comes to something like that. My question is, with regards to the debris that needs to be removed, is the request for just the building that burned and immediate area, or is it for the whole lot?
There's 2 piles of trash that, it's not metal, the metal's being taken, the wood's being taken, but there's 2 piles of trash that are not house debris.
There's miscellaneous stuff here and there that would be thrown into it probably.
Is there, so let me just kind of say that a little different. Is there stuff in addition to what was damaged by the fire?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, I've got a question.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks.
Thanks.
This may be premature for discussion, but could general assistance be directed for payment of fees?
As this isn't a primary residence, it's my understanding that this does not qualify.
Well, it's
Is that-
my primary residence, and I've been a resident for over 20 years.
Yeah, I understand that, but the way that the law is written, you're not the property owner, correct?
Correct.
Yeah. Am I wrong in saying that, David?
I believe you're correct.
Yeah.
So falls to the owner of the property, obviously, and obviously this is a challenging situation because the father's trying to do something right for the child.
Right. Right, it's a
Child's
rough
child's
situation. Yep. Did you have a follow-up to that, Mike?
No, I didn't. That was just the first source of funds that I could think of that might be applicable, and I thought getting that started might help if it gets started sooner than later. I can't think of any other source of funds that the board can move, but I could be wrong there.
Yeah. I unfortunately am not having any brilliant ideas in terms of,
Okay, you have the French fund for the industrious poor that is handled by the welfare director and the administrator. Is that something that I can apply for?
again, the difficulty is you not owning the property and the property being a rental property and being owned by your father makes it challenging in that respect.
Okay.
It would, going back to, you asked volume, quantity, right?
Numbers, yeah.
Yeah, understandably, but it sounds like the loads that went today were primarily the burned structure. And from here on out, it's going to be sort of a mixed lot of existing.
No, I can take the household trash 10 bags at a time in my van.
Okay.
Now that I have a van before I had a full-time car. So, I mean, I can do what I can do.
I guess
I just
it,
need time.
I guess it would be helpful to and I understand that this is really, well, it's difficult on multiple levels, but quantifying the ask so that, you know, we want to help you, but it's hard to know how to provide the help without a clearer idea of what the ask is. Does that make sense? Yeah.
Is it a couple of wheeler loads? Wheeler dump truck loads? Is it 3?
20 dumpsters.
What's that?
3 20-yard dumpsters.
3 20-yard dumpsters? Okay, well, that gives us something to go on.
But you don't know what.
20-yard construction debris dumpsters.
You don't know
But
what
the
they
weight.
weigh. That's where the price is. So
Okay.
much time.
Yep.
We can't estimate them.
Yeah. Okay.
In time limit. Time, we can tune that up. We got to time, we got.
Yeah, but I understand the urgency too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to do years.
What's that? I think I know what you said.
David, do you have any thoughts or insights you might want to offer at this point?
Not good ones. I think knowing what the ask might be use the word creative, but creative in terms of helping the Lincolnville resident whose materials were damaged by a fire, and which in turn helps the property owner. If there was things that they could dispose of that way, I think that would be the spirit and intent of the original gift to the town. I'm not sure about, it's more problematic or challenging because we have to report where the money goes to talk about assisting somebody who may have had a lifetime here or close and still obviously has a lot of ties to the community, yet resides elsewhere.
Yep. Would it be reasonable to ask if the board is in agreement for our Lincolnville resident who is directly affected by this, despite the property owner, but having real tangible property, maybe not in the form of homes or specifically, but other loss, perhaps to schedule a time to meet with you to try to quantify and narrow down the ask?
Sure. I'm available.
Would you be willing to do that? Because it's really hard. I mean, my heart breaks knowing that, when you ask for help, that you want help, but it just the way that a board functions, and we have to have sort of the little box with a bow on it to work with. What does the rest of the board think in terms of having a more constructive conversation and a more tangible ask for us to consider and find a creative solution?
I'm willing to do that, yeah.
Okay. Steve, what are your thoughts?
I'm okay with that.
Obviously, I want to do anything we can to help, but we have a certain criteria that we have to adhere to.
Yeah.
So if we can, like she just said, if we can figure out what it's going to be, you know what I mean? And I know this is going to be tough, much like you just said, Warren. 3 commercial dumpsters, but how much actually is that? It's going to depend on what actually goes in the dumpster. So if we can figure that out, you can sit down with David.
Or Kayla.
Or Kayla,
Yeah.
one or the other, and we can figure that out. We have to speak to it. That's one of the tangible things that we have to speak to it. Why did you do this? You know, why did we do it?
Right.
So it has to fit.
Yeah.
I'm good with that.
Yeah.
We obviously want to help anybody we can.
That works for me too. Yeah, let's find out what the ask is and then move from there.
Yeah. I mean, I will say that it's not a magic wand necessarily that's going to be able to fix all of the problems, but if in meeting with Kayla and or David, you can identify some real specific things that we could work with, we can go from there. Does that make sense, David?
Yep, I'm just,
Making a reminder?
no, I'm just looking ahead.
Okay.
How about tomorrow?
Does tomorrow work for you?
What time? I work 6 a.m. to 2:30, so I can be here in a half an hour. I can be here at 3.
How about you? Is that every day?
Every day, Monday to Friday.
Maybe we ought to talk tomorrow and get together on Wednesday.
Okay.
Does that work?
Yeah.
That would be better.
Perfect.
Thank you. We
So-
appreciate how hard it is to get up in front of this group and
So can you give me a call at some point tomorrow and we'll make it definite for Wednesday? Okay. And is somebody working there tomorrow? Do you know? Maybe I'll stop by.
We'll be there a bit, but I don't know if the excavator and no more wood will be missing.
I'll stop by tomorrow. Talk to you.
Yeah. And they were worried about time limits or, you know.
Oh. Yeah.
That's over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you all.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Thank you, Wayne.
Thanks a lot.
And don't feel compelled to, we welcome you to stay for the whole
Okay.
meeting, but
Yeah, I'm good if you gentlemen want to go.
Take enough of that time, okay?
Thank you.
no, we love having,
Thank you,
we
everyone.
love having folks in the audience. Thank you.
Okay, see you tomorrow.
And moving along, we have Susan Silverio here to give us a Heart and Soul team update.
Thank you.
Well, we appreciate, as always, not only the support of the select board, but also the participation of the members who've been working with us. So there's a couple things in your packet. Do you have that in front of you?
Yep.
I put in all those links, so you have all the items that have appeared in local news outlets, just in case you missed anything. I found it was a good review for me to just put this timeline together. And you remember all these things. We started way back in December of 21. And so we have 4 stages of this Heart and Soul project. And we spent quite a while getting ready. And we worked with you and got your support on that. And then I called that getting ready period was right up until we got the grant from the foundation, the $10,000 grant. And then the groundwork, we had monthly meetings. We've been doing a lot of nuts and bolts. There's lots of decision making. Everything needs to be decided at the local level, even though it's a well-honed model that's been used all over the country. All the decisions need to be made locally about exactly what we want to do and how we want to do it. So that takes time, especially with, a lot of people coming to the meetings. So then we launched, as you know, February 5th at the school, just the day after this big fire. And then most recently on May 2nd, last Tuesday, we had a story gathering training for the volunteers who have offered to work in this way. And we had 26 people participate. And there were 11 unable to attend at the last minute due to illness or something going on, and 7 others had sent regrets before that. So that was 44 people who reached out to me in response to our invitation, who really intend to be involved. I'm most appreciative of those connectors, and we're looking for connectors. We know there are all these groups, and we have identified so many groups and neighborhoods in Lincolnville we want to reach, to try to reach as many people as we can. And we especially are looking for connectors who can reach a certain neighborhood or group of people. And I especially appreciate the ones who are willing, who know that they can connect with the families of multi-generations here. That's a very important piece of our puzzle. Selectman Ray mentioned this at our last meetings. We had finalized interview questions, so we are all kind of on the same page when we talk, when we reach out to someone. And basically what we're asking is, what matters most to you in Lincolnville? And asking them to think long-term. What would you like to see 10 years from now? What would you like to see the same? And what would you like to see changed? And then a question that's very personal: what would make staying here easier or even possible? So we had several activities, several exercises for learning how to gather stories. We tried one-to-one. We worked on groups around a place, looking at photographs, looked at art, which was done by some of our high school students, already answering the more general questions. And I was at a table of a group, so it was an interview with the group. We had a 16-year-old and an 81-year-old at that table, and both before driving age and after driving age. So they both had rides there, and there was a common theme of feeling isolated, regardless of all the wonderful activities that take place on the pond or whatever. But there was a common theme. I can't say we solved any problems of the world by the end of that evening, but everyone there left with this feeling like, oh, this was great. I really feel like now I've met some people and they know me better and I feel less isolated, was how people expressed it. So I think, regardless, we're working on the comp plan, we're in our data gathering stage, and all these heart and soul statements, which will eventually emerge from this process, will inform that plan. But I just want to say that I think the process is as valuable as the product at this point. So we're excited. We're starting our what phase are we? Phase 2 of exploring our community, and we'll be looking at our calendars when we meet Thursday of this week to try to get a really good strategy for developing and stories, for gathering stories. And I want to offer that, if you would like to have a potluck supper for the town meeting on June 15th, we'd be happy to support that. Again, anything that can bring people together and get them talking and sharing, it just seems really worthwhile. So that's something for your consideration. And then we're hoping to gather as many stories as we can through the summer, and then start making decisions in October through January. We'll have to find ways to analyze all the data that we're finding. All the input we've gotten from all the grade school children has all been entered into our data sheet. I've learned how to use a spreadsheet. And it's every word that they say goes right into our data bank. And then later we'll have training sessions to learning how to extract and distill all those statements into key themes and statements to see what really resonates to most people, what matters most. So I ask you, ask me anything. What do you need to know about this?
Questions for Susan? Yeah.
This all sounds wonderful. How many people do you think would participate in a potluck if we did that at our town meeting
Well,
from your group?
I wouldn't, we haven't even suggested this yet to our team, but based on the turnout we've been having, we started when we first announced this to the town, 40 people attended. When we did our launch on February 5th, 80 people attended, if you count the children, which I do. And so who knows, it could be 160, I don't know. But it seems like there's a real groundswell going on and people are enjoying this process and I think they would turn out. And everyone's so thrilled to be back outdoors and able to talk to one another, you know, and be able to see each other's smiles again. So I think it would be well attended.
Great, thank you.
Karen, any questions, comments?
I was gonna ask that. No, at this point.
Steve, Mike?
I would just add a comment that this process is going really well. I think it's going to inform the comp plan very well. And I attended the session on last Tuesday, and it was a great effort.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Susan, for the update and for the continuing efforts. And next up, we had previously talked about the utility rescue truck to be donated to the Coastal Mountain Search and Rescue. Matt, did you want to come up and chat with us, or just want to? You're welcome to.
Just wants the keys and the title.
Does anyone on the board have questions for Matt? No, I mean, I think we're all on board. I think it's a matter of making it official.
Yeah.
So unless you wanted to address the board at all, I would entertain a motion then.
I move that the board declare the 1994 Chevrolet utility truck as recommended by the fire chief as surplus with a value of less than $5,000, and that the fire chief and the town administrator be authorized to dispose of the truck by donating it to the Coastal Mountain Search and Rescue, a Maine nonprofit corporation.
Second.
Moved by Selectman Garrettson, seconded by Selectman Han. Is there any discussion? Seeing no discussion, Selectman Late, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Garrettson.
Yes.
Selectman Ray.
Yes.
Selectman Hand.
Yes.
Selectman Dunn, my vote is yes, the motion passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey, thanks so much.
Thanks for giving it new home, a new life.
We won't go anywhere.
Officially loved, though.
Yes, officially, it's full of equipment.
Excellent. Good night.
Good night.
David, do you want to take this one?
The select board scheduled for June. The night before elections is your first regularly scheduled meeting, and almost typically we do just a warrant only in case of election chaos.
Yep.
So there won't be election chaos.
Yep.
And so I wanted to know if that was okay, so we could plan that and let people know, so we don't book people to come and talk to you in June.
Yeah, I think it's great. 5 p.m. works for me. What about everybody else?
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Great.
All right, we'll go with that then.
Thank you.
Thank you. And moving along to select person updates. Selectman Late, do you have anything for us?
At this point, I do not have anything.
All right, Selectman Garrettson?
Yes, very exciting. The Lincolnville Solid Waste Board has a workshop on Wednesday at 6:30. We're going to talk about leachate, I believe.
Very exciting. I love the enthusiasm.
That's good. Good.
I don't get it, that's why I let him.
Selectman Ray, do you have an update for us?
I do, but it's hard to follow Josh on that, you know? This is simply that you guys may know that the wood shed, that salt and sand shed, that blew over. I don't know if you knew that. David, I sent you an email to that effect and a picture.
You did.
Okay, good. So anyway, Josh, you can almost see it probably. But anyway, it's down, but it blew towards the trees. It's not in anybody's way. And I've talked with Bob McGregor, and we intend to get our butts in there and rebuild it. And if it turns into an issue at all, like I said, it's way out of the way. But if it turns into an issue or liability, I encourage everyone to just get on the horn and talk to Bob as soon as possible, because I don't know when I'll be back.
Okay. Well, thank you for that update. It's unfortunate. That storm was wicked.
It is, and apparently we didn't build it as well as we thought.
Opportunity.
It looked rugged at the time, right? Yeah.
Selectman Hand, do you have an update for us?
Only that we didn't have our EMS performance review committee meeting because there was no quorum available.
Correct. And that is my update, and I will follow on the heels of that. Hopefully, all towns can appoint 2 members, which would be really helpful in getting a meeting together for the EMS review committee. So that's my only update. Well, thank you all. Moving along, we do have the treasurer and payroll warrants to approve and sign.
I move the board approve and sign the treasurer's and payroll warrants.
Second.
Who was that? Was that you, Mike?
That was me. Yeah.
Okay, moved by Selectman Late, seconded by Selectman Ray. Is there discussion? Seeing none. Selectman Late, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Garrettson?
Yes.
Selectman Ray?
Yes.
Selectman Hand?
Yes.
Selectman Dunn, my vote is a yes. Motion passes. And if there's no other business that the board wishes to attend to in public session, we will need a motion to enter into executive session, please.
I move that the board enter into executive session with the town administrator pursuant to Title I MRSA Section 405 6A to discuss a personnel matter.
Second.
Moved by Selectman Hand, seconded by Selectman Garrettson. Is there discussion? Seeing no discussion, Selectman Late, what's your vote?
Yes.
Selectman Garrettson?
Yes.
Selectman Ray?
Yes.
Selectman Hand?
Yes.
Selectman Dunn, my vote is yes. We are now entered into executive session. And these guys are gonna leave and come
I'm
back.
leaving and coming back.